Palladium is enjoying its fair share of bullish pricing this year already, with the rare metal up 32% year to date. Is this a good time to get into the market after the recent pullback? For those new to the channel, my name is Connor, the Senior Market Analyst of the global brokerage firm Zenfinex. I provide open and honest forecasts for a variety of different markets. So if you like this video, feel free to give it a like and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Today's video will cover a price forecast for Palladium in the next few months following the war in Ukraine. I'll run through the market drivers first, then move on to the chart and mark those key levels to aim for. Enjoy. Okay, so with the Palladium 2022 forecast, I did speak about how it may seem like Palladium is going to fall if they are so important for petrol cars. Well, I agree with this to some extent, but I did note that exhaust systems in hybrid vehicles often require more Palladium than conventional engines. Now, the world is in a stage where there are geopolitical tensions at their peak at the moment, with the war in Ukraine rumbling on. Prices of oil are reaching as high as $125 per barrel, which is just crazy. And the big shift to more hybrid vehicles may come quicker than anticipated. Now, this is going to improve the demand prospects for Palladium dramatically. Now, what about the supply factors? Well, with Palladium being an extremely rare metal, supply constraints are, expected. However, the war in Ukraine has taken this really to a whole new level. Russia produces now 30% of the world's Palladium, and there are concerns that sanctions on Russia may cause a supply crisis. Essentially, what I mean by this is the removal of Russian Palladium refiners will send prices to record levels. However, just to call that a little bit, on Tuesday it was announced that Russian refiners can continue to sell platinum and Palladium in London. This wasn't the case for gold and silver. And when I look at what I think will happen with the price of Palladium from a fundamental perspective in the next few months, with the news announced on Tuesday, it has caused prices to cool from their recent highs, but the overriding picture for me remains the same. Demand in the car industry is expected to rise by 20% this year, and a bigger push for electric or hybrid vehicles, accelerated by the war causing skyrocketing oil prices, makes Palladium for me a really attractive investment. Let's try and find a buying opportunity on the chart. Okay, so I'm on the chart for Palladium now, and I think 2021 as a whole, when you look at what happened in that time period, you can actually see that it was basically mirrored what happened in the commodities market as a whole, and that was a slight underperformance really. Now, when we actually look at what's happened since in 2022, at the start of 2022, we've been on this really nice bull run, and we've actually been kind of mitigating. If you have a look what happened here, we did have a nice order block level here. But actually what happened is that was mitigated and we went higher. So the shift has definitely changed, and I could go on to any of any of the metals at the moment on a new price scale. As you can see, this is gold. Really nice upside in commodities at the moment, and I think people in general are just feeling a lot better. And I think we've obviously seen a lot more investment flows flowing into these metals. Now, Palladium, we're looking for buying opportunities on the chart, and I want to go down on something like maybe the 4-hour or the 1-hour chart to try and get a nice refined level. So what I do see down here is I do see this gap in the market, which is something to keep an eye on if prices were to ever fall that far, which I can't see happening at the moment. But this is market imbalance, and if we were ever to get a more wider drop down into this level, then I'd actually expect to be extremely bullish from here. However, if I go down to the 1-hour chart, things can be a lot more clearer. What you can actually see at the moment is you can see we have this demand zone, this order block level that we have here. And what you can actually see just above that is this liquidity that we've got. Excuse me, wrong line, this one. We've got liquidity here and here. So what I'd like to see in Palladium is, I think in general, as we start this week, as we're in the middle of this week, not the start of the week, we're slightly more risk on. I think there's more optimism from the West that peace could be on its way, or at least there's a glimmer of hope. And I think any glimmer of hope at the moment, the markets are reacting quite sharply. So what I'd like to see in metals in general, and especially palladium, was to grab this liquidity that we see here. A lot of people who have been buying the market probably have their stop losses. There's probably a lot of sell stop orders, and also a lot of buy-in SLs, stop losses that are here as well. So if we can get a grab of this liquidity below, and we can get down to around this 2,800 mark, for me, that's a really, really nice opportunity to buy from. So I'd have it just at the 2,800 mark. My stop loss would be just below this liquidity line that we have here. And for me, I'll be targeting, first of all, the initial highs at 3,300, which is around a 5 risk reward trade. I'll then leave some on to target the new highs at 3,400, which is around a 6.5 R trade. And then I'd be looking towards that 3,600, which to me is where I think the market will be going, and is my end take profit, should we say, for the next few months, because I do think the commodities are going to continue higher. I think there's a lot more fallout from this war than people think, and I do think that in a time where I think volatility is going to be high, I think we're going to see lots of demand for these sorts of metals. If we were to get a break below all of this, if we were to get a break below, then I do see potentially the short-term shift, but I wouldn't have any of my take profits anywhere lower than this mitigation level here, because this is an area that does need to be mitigated. And if you're not sure what mitigation is, then feel free to join our Discord channel. Drop me a message on the comment section, and I'll send you my username, and then I can get you added in as well. We may get a fall into this mitigation area, and so therefore you might want to put your stop loss maybe just below. It's still around a 5.5 risk reward trade, so there is opportunity out there for palladium, but my overall bias is bullish for palladium. So that's it for today's forecast video. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure you've liked and subscribed to the channel. It does help boost our channel. We do appreciate all the likes and subscriptions we get, and your opinions as well. Make sure you drop your comments in on the comment section. I see the commodity super cycle continuing, and I'm going to be looking for any buys on pullbacks. That's it for today's video. Have a great trading day and take care.